Lee, so tell me why you're running for governor of New York State.
I feel like our state's at a breaking point right now. We lead the whole country in population loss. People are hitting their breaking point and fleeing. They feel like if they go to some of these other states that their money will go further, they'll feel safer, they'll live life freer. And this isn't even rock bottom yet. It will get worse if Kathy Hochul has 4 more years in office as governor, if we continue to have one-party rule of Democrats, people who self-described as socialists with super majorities in the Assembly and Senate, and you look at their agenda of what else they want to pass, we all have to step up everywhere to do our part to flip the state. We need balance. We need common sense restored. I feel like it's important for the future of New York, for all of us everywhere to get involved, to vote, to volunteer. I'm going to do my part. I'm all in. Losing's not an option.
So as we know, there's a crime wave across the United States. There's been ideas like defund the police and other very destructive policies that have been put into place. What is your plan for the criminal justice system if you took over to make sure that crime goes down and we have strong public safety in New York?
We need to repeal cashless bail. Judges should have discretion to weigh dangerousness and flight risk and past criminal record, seriousness of the offense, on far more offenses than what you see right now. I believe that district attorneys who get elected to prosecute and enforce the laws need to be doing their jobs. If anyone gets elected as a DA and they think that that stands for defense attorney instead of district attorney, then they need to leave that position and let someone else do it who's actually going to take their job of enforcing the law seriously. The governor of the state of New York has the constitutional authority to fire a DA who refuses to enforce the law. I'd fire Alvin Bragg on day one. I believe that we should repeal the HALT Act. We're seeing correctional officers being assaulted over the course of these last couple of months inside of correctional facilities. We have to overhaul the parole board. We're seeing too many cop killers and other murderers getting released right now. Instead of a majority vote, it should be a unanimous vote. We shouldn't be releasing people early from prison who should remain behind bars. The Less is More Act, signed by Kathy Hochul last summer, was a new law that resulted in 8,000 people getting released early by March 31st of this year. On my website, zeldinfornewyork.com/secure our streets, we put a couple dozen or so specific proposals there that I believe will secure our streets, our homes, our businesses, for people who live in certain places that are subways. We have to take action. We have to support law enforcement. We have to back the blue. It's something that I unapologetically have done every step of the way. I grew up in a law enforcement household. It's as personal as it gets. And I believe it is a key reason why New York is suffering this huge population loss.
And then finally on the economy, we look around and we see 8.6% inflation. We see a GDP that just contracted by 1.4%. We have all kinds of issues. Labor force participation is down, so people are exiting the workforce. Now, obviously, some of these are national trends, but what would you do as governor of New York State to help New Yorkers improve their economic situation?
We have to reduce the cost to do business. I support the safe extraction of natural gas. I believe that new pipeline applications should be getting approved. I believe we should be cutting taxes across the board. We should bring spending under control. When I was in the state Senate for 4 years, we had a self-imposed spending cap. It's not what you see now. Tens of billions of dollars in new funding over the last few years, trying to pay for all sorts of far-left priorities. The state can't afford these priorities of the far left. And these aren't rank and file backbenchers either. These people who self-describe as socialists have real power. We need to make state agencies more business friendly. We have to improve the culture inside of the agency. We see different fields get targeted, whether it's a DEC essentially extorting someone who's trying to get a permit, where they have to pay a fine in order to get their permit. They know they could fight it, and they probably will eventually win, but maybe it's not worth the aggravation. So you just pay the fine, and maybe they make more money in the long run. Or the bar or restaurant owner getting harassed by state liquor authority. We have the agriculture industry suffering from these proposed new overtime rules. And you look at the practical effects of these policies coming out of Albany, they all add up to result in all sorts of negative economic pressures on our state. While some of this is federal, there's a lot that Albany can be doing to make life in New York much easier for individuals, families, and businesses too.
Thank you for your time, Lee.
You got it. Thank you.
I got